We're conditioned to believe that mating is a harmonious union, a delicate dance of mutual benefit and shared legacy. But the stark reality of evolutionary biology is far more brutal. When we look at species ranging from waterfowl down to microscopic insects, we see specific anatomical adaptations that ensure copulation is inherently damaging for the partner. We're talking about oversized morphology and physical anchors deployed to exact a heavy toll. This is the reality of sexual conflict. Anatomy itself is weaponized.
Nature is not a garden of cooperation. It is a biological battlefield. There's no inherent morality in the wild. We constantly expect this mutualistic harmony, but out there is only the cold, calculated maximization of reproductive success in a world defined by limited resources and deeply divergent interests.
The entire foundation of this biological battlefield rests upon a concept called anisogamy. It's the fundamental disparity where males produce numerous small sperm, while females produce fewer, larger, and highly energetically costly eggs. This seemingly simple imbalance is exactly what ignites a perpetual tug-of-war between the sexes over those limited biological resources. The interests of the two parties are fundamentally at odds from the very moment of conception.
And from this disparity, highly distinct evolutionary strategies emerge. Males evolve male offense traits designed explicitly for monopolizing fertilizations through forced persistence. Females, on the other hand, bearing the massive energetic burden of the offspring, are forced to evolve female defense traits, designed purely for physical survival during the encounter. It's nothing short of a biological siege. One side seeks total compromise of the other's anatomical defenses.
Consider the waterfowl. They are a staple of tranquil park ponds. Idyllic scenery. Yet beneath the surface of that tranquility, certain species of ducks and geese display some of the most exaggerated, violent mating conflicts in the entire vertebrate world. Their existence is characterized by an escalating anatomical warfare that completely shatters our pastoral illusions.
This specific environment is defined by interlocus sexual conflict, or ISC. ISRC is a coevolutionary arms race arising when the fitness interests of the sexes diverge to an extreme degree. It essentially transforms the mating environment into a biological lock-and-key mechanism. But imagine a scenario where the key is violently forcing entry and the lock is actively altering its own shape just to deny that access.
The male waterfowl's primary offense trait is an absolutely startling morphological adaptation. They've evolved penises that can reach up to 20 centimeters in length. That is entirely disproportionate to their body size. And the structure is shaped like a corkscrew, a spiraling anatomy designed specifically to bypass female resistance and strictly mandate fertilization. But the female response is a masterclass in anatomical resistance. Her reproductive tract has co-evolved as a counterclockwise spiral. It's quite literally a labyrinth filled with dead-end sacs and structural barriers designed specifically to halt that forced entry. For the female, evolutionary success isn't about maximum fertilization. Her success is actually maximized at an intermediate meeting rate. She survives the encounter by making the anatomical path as treacherous as physically possible. That mechanical brutality we see in the natural world deepens even further when we shift our scientific lens from vertebrates down to microscopic insects. In the hidden crevices of human habitation, sometimes mere feet from where we sleep, the bedbug engages in a reproductive process that is utterly devoid of anatomical cooperation. The male bedbug employs a highly aggressive strategy known as traumatic insemination. This is the direct injection of sperm into the body cavity, entirely bypassing traditional reproductive orifices. By utilizing a sharp, needle-like perimeter, the male literally stabs the female right through her abdominal wall. This is a pure manifestation of a male offense trait that increases his individual fitness, but it comes at the direct, devastating expense of her lifespan and her overall fecundity. Now, to survive this unrelenting assault, the female bedbug has evolved a profound defense trait, the spermolege. This is a specialized female organ evolved specifically to receive the traumatic stab, localizing the wound and minimizing systemic infection and damage. It's essentially a biological truce written in scar tissue, a lasting physical record of a conflict that has persisted for millions of years. This kind of hostility accelerates to blinding speeds in the Malabar ricefish. In the waters they inhabit, reproductive coercion is executed like a high-speed assault. The male darts toward the female, violently striking her in the genital region with a highly modified, club-like anal fin.
This sudden strike delivers a spermatophore. A spermatophore is a sperm capsule equipped with a dart-like spike and a whirl of recurved barbs. Think of it as a biological harpoon driven directly into the female's flesh. And those recurved barbs ensure it cannot simply be removed. To survive these repeated penetrating assaults, the female's skin around the genital pore is forced to thicken and harden. It's a highly energetically costly counter-adaptation to a constant barrage of spiked capsules.
Interestingly, we observe that this anatomical warfare isn't even limited to species divided into strict male and female categories. This proves it's an issue of biological roles, not just distinct genders. If you look at hermaphroditic land snails, where individuals possess both reproductive capacities, the struggle for physiological dominance remains equally ruthless.
During their encounter, these snails deploy what is known as the calcareous love dart. It is a sharp, calcareous anatomical structure that is shot directly into the partner's body wall. This dart is coated in a manipulative chemical mucus designed to hijack the recipient's reproductive physiology, manipulating their internal systems to favor the shooter's sperm. So both individuals are simultaneously attempting to physically and chemically stab their partner while desperately maneuvering to avoid being stabbed themselves. Confronted with harpoons, corkscrews, and chemical darts, a completely unavoidable question emerges from all this biological wreckage. Why do these painful adaptations persist? Logic dictates to us that a species consistently wounding its own members would naturally accelerate its own path toward extinction. The answer lies in the cold calculus of the gender load. This metric defines the extent to which the mean fitness of a population is reduced due to the operation of sexual conflict. These hostile traits are sustained purely by frequency-dependent selection. If a spiny penis or a harpoon fin offers an individual male even a marginal competitive advantage over his rivals, that specific genetic trait will spread relentlessly through the population, and it spreads entirely regardless of the harm it inflicts on overall female health. This creates what evolutionary biologists call the Red Queen dynamic. It's a relentless, cyclical loop of biological hostility. First, the male evolves a highly damaging persistence trait. Then, in order to survive, the female is forced to evolve a robust resistance trait. The species is locked in a perpetual cycle of adaptation. They never reach a state of perfect harmony or optimum efficiency. Instead, they exist in a brutal evolutionary compromise, locked in this cycle of adaptation and counter-adaptation just to maintain their current standing in a very dark theater of survival. So, the evidence forces a stark reevaluation of nature's design. Are these escalating biological arms races just a symptom of a failing species, destined to destroy itself through internal conflict? Or are they the very engine of speciation itself, driving the radical anatomical divergence necessary for life to evolve? The conflict doesn't even end here, because beneath the physical armor and the scar tissue lies a deeper, even more complex genetic truce: intralocus sexual conflict, a state where the sexes share a single bound genome while silently fighting two entirely different wars.